Hello everybody, I'm Antonia and this is Noel and we are from Boxtail Soup Theatre Company and this is another Box Tail Scoop. If you have been enjoying the videos then please do hit the like button, leave us a comment or even subscribe to the channel, and welcome to those of you who have recently subscribed. It's lovely to have you all. Noel made me restart this vlog because I had a frog in my throat. I said it didn't matter, but he apparently thought that it wasn't professional enough. This is the kind of professionalism you're going to get from this vlog should you subscribe later on.
No frogs in throats.
No frogs in throats. We've had a slightly strange week this week, in fact, because we were doing the music videos over the weekend and we then ran straight into preparations for next week, which is a week of research and development for Gulliver's Travels. So without a kind of break or a day off, we sort of threw ourselves into making prototype puppets and props for next week's research and development. And it has been a little bit of a spinny head week, I think.
I think we were a little bit fried anyway because we made so much odd stuff for those video shoots, and that went great. I'm really looking forward to seeing the results of that. We haven't seen any of it yet, but we had a lot of fun doing it. But then going straight into this, and we didn't really have time to sort of mentally wipe the whiteboard of your brain clear. And restart something again. I think it's also confusing because due to the COVID situation and due to lockdown, some of you might even remember that we were making these videos about making Gulliver a year ago. And that's when we started work on it. We had to kind of press pause on it because we had to do a few other things thanks to the lockdown, and then we had to go and work on Christmas shows. So it's actually been quite broken up as well in terms of how we've worked on it. And I think that doesn't help either. The stuff that we're working on this week it's a little bit different than preparing for the show itself. And I know we've spoken about this briefly before when we were doing R&D for A Christmas Carol. So R&D standing for research and development. And the difference really between that and doing a rehearsal is that where in the rehearsal you'd be kind of focused on moving through the show and getting it ready for that first performance. In the R&D, you're giving yourself a little bit more freedom just to explore different ideas. And it's a luxury, really. It really is. We haven't always had the chance to be able to do that. And to be honest, because we're now dealing with some more complicated material, Gulliver's Travels is quite a challenging thing to adapt. It is nice to have a little bit of time to say, okay, this week there's no pressure on getting a finished product. This week is about trying out a lot of different ideas and exploring different ways that we could tell that story and seeing what we like.
Exactly. So in that sense, we obviously therefore don't need to have the fully finished set and costumes and puppets and props. We need things to stand in for those items. And at this point as well, we don't really know exactly what we will necessarily want to have in terms of set and props. We have a design that we liked, and I think we can put that up on the screen to show you now. And we are going to stick with this design, broadly speaking.
Well, we like it. We like the style of it, so that's kind of guiding our initial ideas and the stuff that we're making at the moment.
And we had also made a few decisions about who we think would be puppets and not, and we'd started making some prototype puppets before anyway. So we've gone back to those puppets. I think the puppets are probably one of the things that it's most crucial to have, even at the R&D stage, because it's difficult to pretend a puppet's there when it's not, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. We have actually borrowed puppets from other shows before, haven't we?
If you know they're going to be roughly similar, then that can be helpful.
Which we may well end up doing next week, but we've tried to sort of anticipate what we might need. So we've made we've made 3 little Lilliputians like this guy here. And I've just decorated him very rudimentarily just to sort of give us a sense of how he might look from a distance. So we've got three of those guys to have a play with. They might be too small, who knows? We'll see when we have a play next week. We've made this guy here, who is a very basic, very plain looking puppet at the moment. If we were to use anything like this, obviously we would actually dress it for the actual show. Mm-hmm. But he's for a moment where we think we might want to get 3 puppeteers onto him and sort of do something interesting movement-wise with that little puppet. Then we've also got the Struldbrug puppet, who you might have seen in previous vlogs. So we think we've got a puppet for every moment that we think and the horse that we might want puppetry.
Yeah, we've certainly got something we can test out, something we can try. And that's the important thing, you know. This thing, for example, here is like a ship's lantern. Obviously, super rough, just made of cardboard. We wouldn't use this in a show. And behind us there, here you can see a few other bits and pieces. Our ship's wheel and a couple of sort of flag come sails.
Sail things, yeah.
Yeah. So the point is, with any of this stuff, that if you don't have it, you can't use it. So we want to be able to, you know, take the set that we've roughly designed and find interesting ways to use it all. And if we don't have stuff to play with in the R&D, then you might never try something out, or you might skip an idea that otherwise might be quite interesting. So, you know, we can take these sails out, we can take the ship's wheel and find different ways of using it, different shapes, different pictures that we could make with it.
Yeah,
We've got a couple of these lanterns. We were saying, you know, if you hang them up in a certain way with the wheel, perhaps you can create a face of some kind. It's really essentially about having the stuff to play with. So we're trying to give ourselves as much opportunity as possible, even just with rough bits and pieces. And it may well be that next week we find that there are some things that we'd like to try that we end up just quickly cutting a bit of card out to go, well, we need something else that's this sort of shape. We need, you know, another little sail or another boat or another lantern or something. But for the time being, yeah, we're just trying to give as much opportunity to explore and play with this stuff as we can.
So we'll have, I would think, we will definitely will, because our research and development, I think we mentioned before, is funded by the Arts Council. And it's our first Arts Council funded project. And it's been frustrating in that sense, because we've had to sort of press pause on it until now. And now we're having to do it.
Doing it, yeah, in April of last year.
Yeah, and we're having to do it in a slightly different way, obviously, to make it kind of COVID permitting. But we will be filming everything that we're doing next week. So hopefully at some point we'll be able to put together some of that and show you what we did with the various bits, what extra bits we made, what things just got chucked because they didn't work, etc. So we will see you again next week with some reports about how it all went, I guess.
Yeah, in the meantime, thanks very much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Thanks.